Hey, this is one of the content creators of Yugioh Chatt, Michael, and I'm going to be doing a deck profile of my XYZ Symphony Deck, completely modified, few things changed. Let's first go down the list of the cards that I have in this deck. A lot of them are default cards that came with the deck. Most of these cards are common cards that you can get out of booster packs, but are really effective for this deck. So let's go down the list of cards that I have in this deck. First, XYZs. First up, I have Heroic Champion, Excalibur. Wind Up, Zemaines. To Tempo, the Percussion, Dijin. Photon, Papilloperative. I pronounced that very wrong, I am sorry. Number 39, Utopia. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon. Another Leviathan. Musurithium, the String Dijin. Maystroke, Symphony Dijin. Granosaurus, Gemini Pearl. And I'm supposed to have, I think it's Mellow Melody, something Dijin. But I think I lost it somewhere. But I guess that works in the deck because it's a default card. Next, the traps. I have XYZ Effect, Trap Hole, Torrential Tribute, Sakuretsu Armor, Regeki Break, Magic Cylinder, Dust Tornado, Draining Shield, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Call of Haunted. Some basic, really basic traps, very common, that are really effective in any situation. If, just really useful to have those around. These are the spells. Ego Boost, Swords of Revealing Light, Reinforcement of the Army, Polyduality, Magical Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm, Fissure, Dark World Shackles, Dark Hole, and Burden of the Mighty. Again, some basic spells that are really useful to have in a lot of situations. Now, these are just some really common monsters that, these aren't all the monsters that I'm listing right now, but these are some just normal monsters that I use in any situation possible. Vampire Koala, Spirit Reaper, Snowman Eater, Penguin Soldier, Neospatian Grand Mole, Gambara Knight, Go 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 Giant, Charon the Mage, Spirit of the Harp, Alexandrite Dragon. And now the cards that I'm about to list are useful cards in XYZ reasons. So, in this deck, I'm making a mess, I have two Goblinbergs. Basically what I use these for, and the idea of this deck is to summon out XYZs. This really helps with summoning out XYZs, because you can summon out level 4 or lower monster in your hand. It's very, very useful. Another useful cards to have is Cyber Dragons, because if you have no monsters on your field and your opponent has to have only one on the field, you can summon these out. Or if you have a crappy monster on the field, on your side of the field, you can just use this and replace it with pretty badass Cyber Dragon. They're very useful. And I don't know how many you can have in your deck. Maybe you can put in the third one. And if you have level 5 monsters, you can put in a few, or maybe one or two or so, level 5 XYZs. And these are the other monsters that are really useful in this deck. Trident Warrior. You can get a level 3 monster out of your hand. Shine Knight. You can change its level from level 3 to level 4 if you use its effect correctly. Obelisk the Tormentor really doesn't help in summoning out XYZs, but it's very useful for many, many decks, and you can really screw your opponent over. I'm not really recommending to have this in your deck if it's XYZ Symphony, but pretty beast card, and I was pretty lucky to get this in just a normal booster pack you can get out of the nearest target. Marauding Captain. You can get a level 4 out of this monster from your hand. This is another monster that you really don't need for XYZ summoning. It's just really good to have this around. If you have a strong, you can use it with XYZ. So if I have like Gemini Pearl out on the field, and I have Great Maju Garzette in my hand, I can just replace Gemini Pearl and have this guy out with double 2600, which is 5200 attack. That's pretty big there. So he can be useful. Again, another monster that you don't really need, and I'm not recommending it. Gaga Magician. I gotta get more cards like this guy because you can literally change his star level from 4 or 1 to 8 once per turn. It's very useful depending on the rank monsters you have in your XYZ extra deck. So again, the basis of the XYZ Symphony deck that I have modified for is you gotta really summon out XYZs. That's basically the only reason of this deck. And there is a bunch of downsides with this deck. It's not really a strong deck. If you are on the offensive, you have XYZs out, you have traps on the field, you're in a good position to possibly win. If you are on the defensive, you're probably going to lose, because most of these cards are offensive only. Now, Maystroke the Symphony Djinn is defensive. Let's see what else could be. Not this guy, but you can really use this guy if you're going against another XYZ related deck. There's really not a lot of cards that I have in here that are useful for the defensive. Wind Up Zemains could be a defensive. And maybe Heroic Champion. Yeah, Heroic Champion can be a comeback. Because, let me read its effect. You have to use 2 level 4 warrior type monsters. So you gotta have warrior monsters in your deck, no matter what. And I already do. I have quite a few. So, once per turn, you can attach 2 XYZ materials. So, you're pretty much going to give up your XYZ materials for this effect. From this card, this card's attack becomes double its original attack until your opponent's next end phase. So let's say, just an example. The opponent has out a 3000 attack monster. I don't have any traps or anything, but I do have monsters. And I was able to send out this guy with 2 materials. And I send out the materials. This guy will have 4000 attack. I can destroy the Leviathan, and it will have 4000 attack until the end of the opponent's end phase, to the end of his next turn. It's a really good comeback. But unless you have a spell or a trap or something or an effect that can give if you can get more materials, it's going to be stuck with no materials. It'll be stuck at 2000 attack, kind of vulnerable. So you better have some spells or some traps or something. Your opponent's going to do a counter attack and get you back. You gotta be ready. It's basically going to kind of save you for a while. There are many techniques that you can use in this deck. There are many ways to summon out, you can use, where is he? You can use Gaga Magician to get to one of the rank 3 XYZs. You can use Marauding Captain, and Marauding Captain can really save those warriors with its effect. If it's out on the field, Marauding Captain, other warrior type monsters cannot be attacked, and that's how you can get Heroic Champion out. And you can even use Shine Knight to really get some rank 3 XYZs out. There's a lot of techniques that you can use in this deck, and I really don't know all of them. So, if you would like to try this deck out, you can go and get the nearest XYZ Symphony deck, change it up a little, and maybe you can even make it into a little synchro deck. I was going to do that, and I still have the possibility of doing that if I change a lot of things around. But anyways, that is my deck profile for my XYZ Symphony deck. When I modify it, I will do an update on it, and if I get a new deck, I will do a deck profile on that. But anyways, that's pretty much it. check out my channel, Big Mike Spawn, if you'd like to see more videos by me, not related to any Yu-Gi-Oh! And please like our Facebook page, Yu-Gi-Oh! Chat. That is Yu-Gi-Oh! Without the hyphens, space, chat with 2 T's. And also check out our YouTube channel and maybe subscribe if you'd like to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Related things. But basically, that is it from me. I am the content creator, Michael, and I guess I'll see you all later.